Hello guys, I hope you are able to see my screen now. Today we are going to start our lecture related to the control statements, which is iteration and the looping one. Before that, we have completed the selection statements in our yesterday's lecture, where we have covered about the if statements, if else statement, else if statements. So these three we have covered, and the switch and associated, we have deal with some programs that is necessary that you should have an idea about before moving on to the topics. So for today's lecture, we mainly deal about the looping statements, and the same ideology we are going to check. What is this? What are the looping statement represent? What are the syntaxes of those? And then after discussing with the syntaxes and one of the basic program of those, then we will move to the programs which you should have an idea before any proceeding with the automation framework or any automation sort of thing, whether it's a Selenium, whether it's a rest assured. So we need to understand about the looping statements and their syntaxes and some basic program that you should have an idea and try to do the programs from your own. So what is the looping statement represent? So first question arises, what and how we can implement in Java. Simply means syntax. After discussing the syntax, we are going to check with the help of programs to understand the looping statement. Looping, or you can say iterations, both are the same thing. So main thing, loop represent re-executing of code is known as loop. So same thing will be done in the Java using three different things. What are those? First is for, while, and do while. There is one more which is for each loop. It will be covered in Java collection topic when we are scheduling the same. So this will be covered on then lectures. So right now we are focusing about the for one, while, and the do while. So these are the three different looping iteration through which we can control the execution flow of a program. Yesterday we have seen or we have created a one program. You can have an idea such that we are Java will execute the line by line, but using this switch statement, we have make the alteration in the program execution order. If any of those condition, like I have provided case minus, only this line of code will execute after the line number 19, and then after it get breaked, it will not run these lines. It will move till the line number 36 and then execute complete and the program of this. So this is the flow of the program that we have make an alter. So same alteration can be done using looping coding, which will be provided by the for, while, or do while loop. So same thing I have written here in the document. So this is the document we have where we have understand about the selection. Now we have understand what is loop and what are the same things that we have understand about it. So right now, so we are dealing with different syntaxes for all these three different through which we can re-execute our Java programs. So how we can implement the same? That simply means the syntax of the all each programs. So let's start with one of the basics, which is for loop. Using the for loop, this is the syntax where we need to provide a keyword which is a for, the initialization methods, and the condition that it needs to be satisfied, and the updates on the initialization methods. And then the whatever the code we need to execute will comes under the bracket part. So this is the iteration, or you can say syntax of the program. So how we can implement the same? Let's use one of the program and try to uh, show you the result here. So let's make one more package here. Let's mark it as lecture number 4, and inside that, right now we are checking the for test for loop. So let me create a class, and inside the class let me create a main method. So if I don't make any alteration, then the code will execute line number 7 and then 8 and 9 and then 10 and then 11. This is the execution order that a main method but looks like. So we can alter the same using the for loop. So the syntax, let's go one by one. First is for loop, the bracket, and then parenthesis on that. So this is the structure which we have followed. Then we need to initialize the same. So right now we wanted to print value from 1 to 5. So same thing that we can do using a for loop. So first we need to initialize the value. Let's declare a variable. Let's say int I is equal to 1. So now our loop start with in declaring the value as I as 1. So which is known as initiation steps. Then we need to make a condition, what it needs to be satisfied, whether it's a greater than, lesser than, whatever the value you want to check. Right now we want to print till value 1 to 5. That means we are increment the value, or we can simply means first it will print 1, then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. You can see it, we wants to meet a condition till it reaches the 5 value. So I less than equal to 5 or greater than is equal to 5. That simply means we are verifying this is the condition that we are trying to check. If it is greater than 5, for example, let's say I here means is equal to 6. That simply means we are not supposed to print that value. That simply means it will exit the loop. Means this condition will false. That means for loop will not execute. And then the update, whatever we wants to do. See, we are incremented 1, then 2, and then 3. So I gets incremented after each execution. So this is the complete execution order through which we can increment the value, and at the end we can just print the value whatever it is. So value of I is this. So this is the complete program, or you can see the execution order. If the Java still persists that it will only run 7, 8, 9, then 10, and then 11 only once. It will not loop if the for loop doesn't exist. Now it is existing, and we have make the alteration, and it will cycle it back and again till it reaches the condition specified we have. So let me just execute the same to show you the value. You can see value of I is being incremented in each execution order. First it is 1, then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5. So by using for loop, we are changing and continuously and also incremented the value, and we have make a certain condition which needs to be fulfilled. So this is known as for loop, or you can say syntax of the for loop we have seen. This is the I hope everyone able to understand the same. You can just drop a note into the chat section, and then we can move with the while loop. Okay, so now moving on to the while loop. So while loop is the same syntax, just make a changes here. So in the while loop we needs to provide the conditions, and then the code whatever we wants to execute, and the same iteration we needs to provide inside of that while. See, let's check an example. So let me comment this program. So the same logic let's try to implement using while loop. So let's say int I is equal to 1 while I, same condition that we want to check. So this is the condition. Once it fulfilled, then only loop will start, and whatever the one I want to print, the same value I wanted to print at the end. Once that value get printed, we want to increment the same. This is the condition, or this is through which we can check the while loop. So let's try to print the value and check if it is working with the same behavior or not. As you can see, the same output is still printing. So by using while loop we have achieved the flow of execution, means the looping is being done associated with it. The syntax, let's show me here. So this is the syntax we have covered, and this is the example through which we have seen. Now moving on to the do while loop. So let me mark it as comment one. Let's move to the do while loop. So there is a one difference between do while and a while loop, which people generally ask you during an interview or sort of a thing. But most of the times, people generally we are using the do while loop when we are dealing with the rest issue, because some of the time rest issue in while hitting an API, it doesn't show us the response code as 200. We first need to check when we try to hit the element till it reaches or till it meet the condition when the response code is equal to 200. So same ideology we are using in the do while logic. So in the do while, it is at least execution 1 and then the condition it is verifying. So how we can achieve the same logic? Let's try to declare the int I is equal to 1 and then the certain condition that you want to check. What we want to do, we want to do same thing like this, and till which condition we want to check, we want to check till the while condition meet. At the end we need to provide a semicolon. This is the syntax of, you can say, do while loop. See, you can see curly braces and then at the end condition we have specified and then semicolon. So this is this actual condition that we need to understand about the do while loop. So let me try to execute the same and check. See, this is the value, but let's say if I make a value and I is equal to 1, right now you can see while condition doesn't satisfy this condition. So if I use this approach in this for loop or while loop, it will not go till y, because there is no such values condition needs to be fulfilled. On in the do, there is actually one at least execution was done, so that's why it will print value of I is equal to 6. Let's check and try to print the value. See, if I make this as, let's say, comment it out and instead of while loop, let's execute the while loop by providing I is equal to 6. If I do so, let me show you the output. See, there is no such output is being thrown to you because it doesn't go with inside the while loop. So this is the main difference between while loop and a do while loop. Do loop will execute at least once, then only it verify the condition. But while, or you can say for loop, it first check the condition, then only it go inside the code part. So this is the main difference between do while and a while loop. I hope everyone able to understand this point. So let's move on to the next topic, which is we have covered the syntaxes, we have covered what is the iteration and looping things. Now we will move to the programs of the looping statement, which is necessary for any automation sort of thing. So you can see I have written there are 7 different programs which is necessary. You should have an idea, and then I will provide you some homework as well which you wants to check or you want to you needs to be do from your own before moving on to the next topic, which is array, when we cover on the Monday's lecture. So these are the 7 programs that you have a necessary idea. First is printing a table of any number, then factorial of a number without recursion. I will be showing you without recursion. You have a homework such that you need to check about how we can achieve using recursion and what is recursion. Once that's done, then we will check about the reverse of a number, and then after reversing a number, we need to check how we can check this number is a palindrome number or not. Then we will cover what is the reverse of a string. Then we will check if the number we have provided is prime or not. Then we will print number between 1 to 100 and number of primes number inside of those. Then at the end we will check the Fibonacci series to print the value. So these are the 7 different programs that we are going to check with our logic and try to print the value we have. So let's go one by one and try to understand all those programs with the value. So let's start with the printing the table of any number. So let me clear out all those things. So first thing we need to check is printing the table of a number. That simply means, let's say I wanted to print like this: 5 5 into 1 is equal to 5. 5 into 2 is equal to 10. 5 is equal to 3 is equal to 15. So this is how I want to print. As you can see, this is the number I want to make a table, and this is the number it's get incremented. After it gets incremented, it is the number that is displaying. That simply means 5 multiply by 1, and this is the number 5 multiply by 2, and this is the number 5 multiply by 3. This is I want to print. This is known as table printing. So let's try to execute the program and try to make the same using your own logic. So I have provided a we have created a class which is for test class. Inside that we have created a main method. Let me copy paste this program or this comment above one, so that doesn't bother about the main function. So let's start the value. So number we have is number 5 that we wants to print. So for loop, so where we wants to start the value from I is equal to 1. That means I is equal to 1, and let's say I wanted to print till number 10, and then we are incrementing the value. As you can see, this is value is again incremented, so this is being replaced with I, and this is being replaced by number. At the end, this is replaced by number multiplied by I. So same logic we are going to print here. So let me just print the value. So number and then plus, let's mark it as star, and then plus, and I want to print the value 1, which is I whatever it is. So this is 1, and then equal to, and then plus, and then num multiply by I. This is what I wants to print. So how does it print? It will print the number which is 5, star mark, and then I which is 1, and then equal to, and then number of I means 5 multiplied by 1 means 5, and then it loops again started. That means at the first time it will print like this: 5. First it will print like this value, then after this it will print like this, and then it will print like this. So this is the actual execution order, or we let me just run the program to show you how does it looks like. See, this is how we are printing a table of any number. Let's say we can replace the number with for example, let me wants to print the value for number 15, so we can also do the same. See, this is how we can print a table of any number. So this is the first program we have seen, which is printing the table of any number. So after the first program, let's move on to the second program. I hope everyone able to understand the point. You can drop a note if you are able to understand the first program and into the chat section. Then moving on to the second question, which is factorial a number without a recursion. Means we wants to print like this. What is, so first question is, what is factorial? Factorial means 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So this is the factorial. For example, I want to print for 4 factorials. That simply means like this. If I want to print 7 factorials, that means 7 into 6 into 5 into 4, this value. This is known as factorial. I want to print like this. So as you can see, there's a one catch here. First, let's say I wanted to check the first factorial of a 2. For example, that means 2 into 1, right? Let's say I wanted to get a factorial of a 1. So right now you can see first it is printing the 1, and then we can increment the value, and then we have 3 into 2 into 1, and then 4 into 5 into 2, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7. You can see one by one the values get incremented. So same logic we are going to implement using this value, which is fact is equal to fact into I. Same logic that we are going to implement. Let's say we have initiated fact is equal to 1. So in the first time I want to print the value of a 5 factorial, let's say. So 5 factorial means I have initiated the value number is equal to 5. Now if I want, we can replace the value, means fact is into I, means and looping we are starting till number 5 we wants to reach. So 1 multiply by 1. Now fact has a value of 1. In the second loop, when it changes, means I will get incremented, means 1 into 2. Now fact has a value of 2. Now again the loop started, means I is equal to 3, means 2 into 3. Fact now hold value 6. Again the loop gets incremented, 6 into 4. Fact is now holding value 24. After the 24, 24 into 5 is equal to 120, which is fact. So now we can see this is the exact value of a 5 factorial, which is 120. So now we can print the value of a number. So this is the logic behind the factorial of a program. So let's try to implement the logic and use the same. So let me create one more class, make it as fact test. Let's make it a main method to execute the value. Let's say number is equal to 5 and int fact is equal to 1. So we have declared two numbers. Now start the loop, which is int I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to number, then I plus plus. This is how we are incrementing the value. So fact is equal to fact multiplied by I. So through which we are showing the value. At the end, fact now holds the latest value. Means we can print the value factorial of a number equal to fact. So this is what I want to print. So we have understand the logic behind the program. First, it will be like this. Fact is equal to 1 multiplied by 1, means it is now holding 1. Second times 1 into 2. Third times 2 into 3, and then 6 into 4, and then 24 into 5. So at the end it is holding 120, which is a factorial over 5. Let's try to print the value and check if this is working fine or not. See, factorial of a number of a 5 is 120. So let me just correct the value in the naming convention, nothing more than that. The factorial of a number 5 is equal to 520. This is the we are expecting the value. So this is the second program we have. Hello, hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible now? Can you drop a note if I am able to, you are able to hear me? Okay, you are able to hear me now. So the third question is reverse a number, or you can say palindrome a number. So reverse a number, that simply means we want to check, or we want to reverse a number. Let's say with an example for a better understanding. So what is a reverse of a number? Reverse a number. Let's say number is equal to 1, 2, and 3, 4. So reverse of a number is 4, 3, 2, 1. And now the question here is, what is palindrome? Palindrome simply means if 1, 2, 3, 4, that simply means number is equal to reversed number, which is 4, 3, 2, 1. Right now you can see this is not equal. That means it is not a palindrome. But let's take one more example, which is 1 to 1. So if I reverse a number of 1 to 1, that simply its reverse is also same. That means it's a palindrome number. It is not a palindrome, it is a palindrome. So this is what we want in the reverse of a number. So in the reverse of a number, the logic behind is you need to understand that, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the number that you want to reverse, for example. So first we need to divide the value with 10, and then there is a remainder. For example, I divide the value with 10. That simply means its remainder is 4, and the quotient here is 1, 2, 3. And again, let's say I want then we are changing it again. That means I was dividing 1 to 3 again with the value 1, 2, 3, and now remainder is 3 when we divide the value with 10. And again, let's say same loop will move to the, here you can see the quotient is 1, 2. So now we will divide the value 1, 2, and the remainder now will change to 2, and the quotient here is 1. At the end you can see 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is the number we are getting, and this is the remainder we are getting. At the end, if I do like this, means quotient is 0 and the remainder here is 1. If I print like this 4, 3, 2, 1, means it is a reversing of that number. Means this is the logic behind each of the program. So we are dividing the value with 10, and whatever the remainder we are getting, we are displaying the value on that part. So this is the logic behind the program we have been seeing. So let's try to do the coding and check the value, and for more understanding. So let's create one more class. Let's make it as palindrome test. Christian singer sings no voice. Is anybody else able to are able to hear me perfectly, or Okay, I'm able to, the mic is working fine. I have checked with OBS as well. So let's move on to that part. So let's create a main method, and then, so let's take, I want to get this number 1234 is a number. Let's say number is equal to 1234. This is the number we are getting. So we can store the number into some, let's say, temporary number. So this is what we are doing. So temp is now equal to 1234 indirectly basis. So let's declare some variables. So reverse is a number that will that we are providing, or that means it is holding, right now it is holding 0. At the end of the program it is holding 4321. This is what we want. So we have created one temporary variable, we have created integer reversible variable. So I don't want to alter this number, that's why we have taken a temporary variable. At the end we are verifying if number and the reverse of a number is equal, that means the string is palindrome, means 1234 equal to 4321. If this is true, means it is palindrome that I wants to check. So if right now you can see it is not equal, but we wants to show in the program itself only. So let's do this value. So let's declare one more variable. Let's say number of that is remainder. So by default it is holding value. So let's do the value. So we are not making changes into the number, we are making changes into the temporary variable. So we are doing like this. Why it is doing like this? We are changing a number 1234 till it reaches the value 0. So same logic we are going to implement. We are using a loop till this number will convert it to value 0. So same logic is being here with the while loop. Till the temporary temp variable is being used or changes to the 0, then only the loop will execute. And then what we are trying to do, temp percentage 10. This we have already discussed when we have dealing with the even odd concept. In this you can see whatever the remainder we are getting is being stored. We are storing the remainder in this variable. Then reverse is equal to 10 into reverse plus remainder. This is the logic behind for the value. For example, right now we are getting the remainder, which is 4, means, and the we are reversing the value of the number. Right now we are multiplying this with 0 with 10 and then whatever the value. Right now you can see reverse is 0, that means 10 into 0 plus 4. This is the value we are getting. Sorry guys, let me just pause for 1 second. मम्मा मेरी कॉल चल रही, पागल हो गए आप? बाहर में जाओ, आप मेरे को काम करने दो. Sorry guys for the interruption. I was facing some issues with my internet. So you can see now reverse is holding value as 4. In the end, we are changing this quotient to lesser value, which is 123. Means temp is equal to temp divided by 10. This is the quotient through which we are getting. So this is the complete logic behind the reversing of a program. At the end, you can see reverse is 4. Here, remainder is 4. And here, now the temp is holding value 1, 2, 3. At the second logic, it will do like this. Remainder is 3, the quotient is 1, 2. And then remainder is true, the quotient is 1. And then remainder is 1, the quotient is 0. So this is the complete logic behind the complete execution of the code. Now the reverse in the end will hold value 4, 3, 2, 1. And temp is now holding value 0, and there is no such there is only remainder 1 is being done. So this is the complete code is being associated, and now the reverse will holding a value 4, 3, 2, 1. At the end, we are using a if else logic. If number equal to reverse means this number is palindrome. If else, if this number is not, then we are printing the value such that this is not a palindrome. This number is not a palindrome. Let me just run the program and show you. See, this number is not a palindrome. Instead of this, let's make it as 1 to 1 and check if this is a number a palindrome or not. You can see this number is palindrome because if I reverse a number 1 to 1 and then same number is being reversed, this is a palindrome. So this is the complete logic behind the program we have seen. So let me just move on to the next program, which is reversing of a string. Means the whatever we have done in with the value of number, same thing we are going with the string. Let's say Ajay is my name. This is the string I wants to reverse. Means YAJA. This is the reversed string. This is the reversed string. So let me just create one more class to show you the reverse of a string. So this is the main program we have at the reverse of a number. So I hope everyone able to understand the same and try to implement on their own and try to do the this is the you can check with the value. So string has a you can say a function which is known as char at whatever the character at index we have, for example 0 index. So this is the index number we have. Let me just open the paint to show you the value. So this is the you can say string holding. This is a, this is j, this is a, and this is y, and there is an index specified for it. This is the 0 index, this is the first index, this is the third index, and this is the third index. So these are the indexes, these are the data, these are the data, and these are the indexes. If I want to get the character at number first index, means it will go with j. If I want to check the character index number 3, means it will go with value number y. So same logic we are going to do with the program itself only. So let me show you with the value. So let's say my string is name is equal to Ajay. This is the string we have. Now for storing the value in some reverse number, so we have created one more string with the name as reverse. So there is a predefined functions by string. When we understand about the string topics, we will cover a lot of functions. Right now you just need to check if I want to get the length of a string. There is a predefined functions which is name.length. Let me just before moving on to the program, let me just print this string number to show you what is printing. See, it is printing 0, 0, 1, 2, and 3. You can see there are 4 characters, means 4 length of a size of a string. So this is what we have seen so far. So you can see this length is returning a integer value. So we can also store into some integers as well. So let's create a variable. Let's say length is a variable I have created. So far we have only created a string, created a blank string with the name of reverse, getted the length of that string we have created with the name j. We have get the value. So now by using for loop we can iterate one by one and we can provide the value in the reverse of a string. So what I want to do, I want to do like this. If I read the data from backward side, for example, I read the data number 3 first, means y, and then read the data number 2 means a, and then read the data number 1 which is j, and then at the end read the data number a, and if I print this string means yaja, this is the complete reverse of a string. Same logic we are going to do. So instead of starting from the length number 0, we are starting with the length number 3. As you can see, length is now holding value number 4, not 3. So that's why we are starting till length minus 1. So, and till which value we are reading? Till I is equal to 0. We are reading. And then we are decrementing line by line. And now only the things here reverse plus, and here how we are reading the value using caret function. So name dot caret and provide the index. Index is first it will 3, then 2, and then 1, and then 0. What this value represent? This represent value number I. So we can directly replace with I. So this is the complete logic behind reverse of a string. At the first you can see reverse now holding value y, then first is blank, then y. Now reverse is holding value 1, again a came, means ay is now new string, then j came, means yaj, then a came. So at the end this is the reverse of a string. You can just print the value, say reverse of a string is, let me just print this. See, yaja. So this is the string you can see. Right now we haven't make a changes in the name. So we can also check if the string is reverse palindrome or not. So how we can do that? Name dot equals reverse. If this is equals, that means string is palindrome. Else string is not a palindrome. So right now you can see ajay and yjaj both are not equal, so that's why else part will execute, means string is not a palindrome. Instead of this, let's make it as palindrome. So aja is a palindrome number or palindrome string, so now it will go in the if loop, not in the else. So it will print string is a palindrome. See, string is a palindrome. So this is the program we have seen so far, which is these: printing a table, factorial of a number, reverse of a number, and then palindrome of a number. Same reverse of a string, and then we convert the reverse of a string into palindrome string. So far we have covered 4 different programs. So now moving on to the check number is prime or not. In this, we are checking if the number is prime or not. So what is the prime number? So question here arose is prime number. Prime number simply means that is divisible by 1 or by itself. Means 3 is a prime number which is divisible by either 3 or 1. 7 is a prime number which is divisible by itself or number 1. And similarly you can drop any number you want. Smallest prime number is 2. So 2 is the smallest number, which so that's why we are starting our loop from number 2, not from 1, because 1 is also divisible by itself or 1. So that's why we are not considering 1 as a smallest number in mathematical term. So smallest prime number is known as 2. So let's go one by one and check. See, there is point condition here. If any value is being uh, divisible, means if there is a number that doesn't associate any remainder is equal to 0. Means 4 divided by 2, remainder here is 0. If number doesn't have remainder, means if number doesn't have or remainder is equal to 0, means this is number or not a prime number. So same logic we are going to implement in our logic in our prime number. So how we can do that? Let me just create one more program. So prime test. In the prime test, let's create a main method. So let's say I want to check number 7 is a prime number or not. Let's declare one more variable is equal to 0. So as you can see, we have a smallest prime number 0. So we can start dividing values from 2 onwards until we are reaching 7 is also divisible. So we are not reaching till 7. We are ending our loop number 6. Similarly, like here, we are ending till number 2. If we are pretending that we are not ending number 7, that means 7 is divisible by 7, means it is a, so that's why it's provide a remainder as 0. So our loop always comes with a not prime number, so that's why we are not handling till that point. So number minus 1 I plus plus. So this is the logic behind each of the program. So if number, this is the brief point here, means if the number, right now let's go with one by one. See, you can see I loop has started from I number 2, means 7 remainder 2. Does does it provide any remainder? No, it doesn't provide any remainder. 0. It is providing remainder as 1. Means this if condition will not execute. If it is divisible by 3, no. 4, no. 5, no. And then 6, no. We are not connecting with 7, so that's why at the end 7 is not 6. So that's why we can say if condition doesn't meet up, means this number is not a prime number. So we just declare a variable temp. Why we have declared the same? If any number lies inside this loop, for example, I choose a number 9, right? First it starts from 2, means remainder is 1. Now It's incremented means 9 divided by 3. Yes, it is providing a remainder. So we are incrementing the temp. So why we are incrementing? We just providing a logic here. If temp is greater than 0 means number provided is not a prime. This is the logic behind it. Else number is a prime. So this is the logic behind it. Since it is dividing a value, so it will came here and the temp gets incremented. And since temp is getting incremented means temp is equal to 1. And now you can see if temp is not equal to 0, which is this condition, means number is not provided. But we are verifying number 7. So since it doesn't go inside any if, means temp doesn't get incremented, means else condition, which is temp is equal to 0 still satisfying, means this line number 24 will execute. So let's try to do the programming and check. See, number provided is a prime number because we have provided number 7. Instead of 7, let's check with number 9. So it will not a prime number. See, number provided is not a prime number. So this is the program we have seen for it. So this is the homework for you to print a number between 1 to 100 using a same logic here. You just need to do one point here. Only one thing needs to be incremented, nothing more than that. So try to do on your own. At the end, we are discussing the Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. I hope everyone able to understand the same, and you can just drop a note into the comment section about if you have any doubt or any sort of thing. So the question here is, what is Fibonacci series? Fibonacci series simply start from 1 and then 2 and then 3, means 1 and other number is 2. Okay, if third number is 2 plus 1 and the another number is 5, means 3 plus 2. Previous to summation is the next number, means previous to sum, which is 8, which is this 13, which is this 21. So this is known as Fibonacci series. How we can print the value? You can see, let's denote it as A, B and C. You can see at the end C will be summation of all those values. Similarly, let's move on to the now. Change the value now. This is A, this is B, this is C. Now again loop will execute like this. Now again incrementing, this is E. So this is the logic behind a Fibonacci series. Right, we are incrementing line by line and we are moving till end. At the end, this is C. So this is the program. So we can create a function. So right now we are creating a method that will print the Fibonacci series by providing an input from where it gets started. So let's do that program. So let me just create a class Fibonacci test. So this is the main method we have. So inside the main method, let's declare the value. First is 0. Okay, 0 plus 1 is this, and then 2, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. This is the complete logic behind it. Okay, so let's do the value. So int a is equal to 0, b is equal to 1 and c. So we have declared three variables, which is 0, which is a, starting from this a, b, and then c. We have declared only a and b so far. So let's just print the value a plus b. So right now we have this function. So we let me just print the value to show you the what is it is now printing 0 and 1, but we wants to print like this: 0 1 2 3 5 8 13 21, all those values in the Fibonacci series. So let me just create a function to show you the value. So let's create a function void print fib int I. So this is the function I have created. So we can also create this function as static, so we can directly call the function here only without providing a number till at number which we wants to print. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5. Let's say I wants to print the number till number 5. So this is the number that I wants to print. So if I is less than equal to 1 till we are printing the value. So C is equal to, you already have an idea that this is A, this is B, and this is C. C is equal to A plus B. Right now this is not providing these values. So we can declare the values as static. So static int, static, and this is also static. As out C. Now we are replacing the value B is equal to C, print I minus 1. So you can see this is the logic behind the program. We are changing C is equal to A plus B, and then we are moving now previous value with A to B, and now C again is equal to A plus B, and then we are again changing this to this, and then this is A, this is B. We are incrementing till we have reached till the number of execution order. So right now it is not accepting, so probably we are making some mistakes in defining those number. Okay, so we are basically dividing this next. Okay, got it. We need to create a reference variable of those. Now make it as static, then static. Now it is working fine. It is equal to this, less than equal to, yeah. So this is the pre-program. You can see now we are printing the value. See, 0 1 2 3 5 18 13 is being now printed here. So this is the complete logic behind the Fibonacci series, and at the end we can say these are the basic programs that you should have an idea before moving on to the selenium or the rest assured for the looping statements. There are some more as well if you want. The programs are such as number pattern, or you can say the static pattern if you want. So don't go much about the program of those, you just need to understand all these points. So we have covered the complete control statement. Jump statement is not of your scope. You just need to know about the break because we have already have used into the switch cases. Continue, we are not bother about it. Return, we already have seen example yesterday where we are returning some integers. So these are the things. Goto is not part of a Java, so not recommended in Java. So that's all for the control statements. We will be continuing the array from the next lecture. That's all for today, guys. We'll meet on tomorrow or next lecture.